NFC North.
All right, and then Kmart, let's talk about a quarterback we haven't seen in the NFL yet. If I said Shedeur Sanders is going to be the best rookie quarterback in this class, do you believe it or not?
I'm going to go with or not. Now, time will tell. Maybe I'm proven wrong. Just think when talking to talent evaluators before the draft, there was a clear dividing line between Cam Ward and then everybody else. And Cam is entering a situation in Tennessee where he is the guy from jump. He is getting first team reps. He is there every day. It is clear he is the leader of this team and this franchise, where Shedeur is still on the field trying to, work his way around these three other quarterbacks.
And there are interesting other options, right? I mean, Tyler Shough, we think, is going to get a chance to play. Jackson Dart may get a chance to play. So there'll be some interesting rookie quarterback stories. But the Shedeur Sanders one, obviously, for its own reasons, is probably the most interesting. The Browns' offensive coordinator is Tommy Rees. He was talking about Shedeur's time in Cleveland so far. Here's what he said.
Yeah, he's worked his tail off. He's really putting a lot of work, as all those guys are. But you could tell on the mental side of the game and learning the system and calling it and having that rhythm to it. He's put a lot of work and time and effort into that. And then when you do that, the game starts to slow down and you can focus on finding completions.
In terms of the quarterback competition, at this point, can you realistically see any one of these four guys winning these jobs?
Yeah, you can see them all winning the job.
So I love it. I love his exasperated smile because he knows he's stuck now. He has to answer somehow. He answers in the way that says absolutely nothing, right? That is the answer that says nothing, but it also creates the clickbait headline. Offensive coordinator says Shedeur Sanders has a chance to start. I mean, that's just sort of the reality of the world that we live in.
It says nothing, but it says everything, though, about their situation. Because all four guys, back when I was there in rookie minicamp, I was told the same thing. There are strengths in each of them that they like. The problem is with four quarterbacks, there's only so many reps to go around. So when you were telling reporters that you're very high on Shedeur Gabriel and Shedeur and Joe Flacco, we know who he is, and Kenny Pickett looks good in practice, how is Kevin Stefanski, how does he envision dividing those reps so that both rookie quarterbacks, Shedeur Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, get enough reps on the field to actually compete well? Obviously, a lot of mental reps, and Stefanski has said what they do behind closed doors also is weighed into this too.
I find it interesting, Nick, but I put them into two buckets. There are four guys that are in the same quarterback room, but Joe Flacco is in one bucket all by himself. We know what he is. He is the reliable option. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's had a terrific career. You sort of know what you're getting. The other three, I'll say, are unfinished products. I mean, Kenny Pickett was a first-round pick once upon a time. I'm sure in his mind, he's not sort of destined just to be a journeyman now. He wants a real shot at this thing. And then you've got the two rookies. So how does this thing get sorted out, Neek?
Yeah, I think that Joe Flacco is going to be a bridge quarterback. Whether it's a bridge to one of these guys or a bridge to another quarterback next year is the question that remains to be answered. I think one of the hard things about projecting Shedeur is this age of quarterbacks. We have all these superheroes, frankly. The best quarterbacks in the league are incredible physically at something. And Shedeur is more of a throwback quarterback in that it's going to be about precision and accuracy and decision making. And it's hard to imagine a quarterback like that dominating. I know that it can be done, like we see Joe Burrow do it, and much of the history of the NFL has been those type of quarterbacks. But the modern NFL feels like all teams are looking for one of those guys who breaks defenses just because they're so physically talented, which Cam Ward falls in that category. And obviously, we can say the names that we always say in Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. So I think that's kind of holding up the projection for Shedeur Sanders. But ultimately, a lot of quarterback decisions are made off of potential. And one of these guys has to show that they have the potential to be one of those difference makers.
That was sort of the thing, is a very high floor, but maybe not as high a ceiling as some of the other guys may have. Harry, how do you see it playing out?
I think Joe Flacco, he's going to start the year off, and I agree with Nick. I think at some point it's going to be Shedeur Sanders. Listen, Joe Flacco got drafted with me in 2008. We were at the Combine together, y'all. So I don't think he's going to play the entire season for the Cleveland Browns. Now, what you don't want to do if you're the Cleveland Browns as an organization is have a quarterback like Shedeur Sanders go out there and ball out in practice and preseason and do everything necessary from his standpoint to where he should be playing. And if you're Cleveland, you don't play him, because now you're going to have division in your locker room. play the best player, and for a player like Shedeur Sanders, control what you can control. That's why it's so important to have a strong father figure in his life like he does have, and a guy that played the game at a high level and also is a coach at Colorado, is that you control what you can control, and then you live with the rest.
Keep in mind their schedule. They have a week 9 bye. It is a daunting first half for them. So I can understand if Joe Flacco, send out Flacco, and at some point you see one of these rookie guys, I would think it would be Shedeur, but I wouldn't put either Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur against that. I want a vet who's seen it all, and then you give these kids some time to just get active.
What did Joe Flacco do to you? You send him out there.
Well, he's played in Cleveland before.
Poor Joe Flacco. He's as old as Harry, and you're sending him out there against these guys. All right, I love his little exasperated laugh because he's like, there's no way I can answer this question without making a headline, which is the only thing these guys are trying to do in that conversation is not say something that we're going to run with. But they gave him no option by asking the question that way. At the end of the day, again, you were there. It remains my belief. I made a prediction right after the draft. The first reports that are going to come out of there are going to be, Browns pleasantly surprised with how quickly Shedeur is picking up the offense. And, Browns raving about his work ethic. All the good stuff is going to start coming out of there because he is a 5th-round pick in name only.
Yes.
Tell me what you're seeing and hearing coming out of Cleveland.
Well, what Tommy Rees said is exactly what I heard when I was there for rookie minicamp, which is in the building, they see any 4 of these guys as potential starters. The real question, though, for me, is Kevin Stefanski has said, I have a plan. We knew we were going to have 4 quarterbacks. I have a plan for how we're going to divvy up the reps. But Kevin Stefanski has not given any specifics as to how that actually plays out when there are so limited reps to go around. It's not just for Shedeur, also Dillon Gabriel, the quarterback who people forget was drafted in the 3rd round ahead of Shedeur. So you got 2 young kids who need practice time. But Shedeur has impressed from the beginning. It really is going to be who picks up the playbook quicker and who is more at ease with this offense.
Dominique, I like the way you were talking about it this morning in our meeting because, again, if you just look at their roster, if you were to print it up on a piece of paper, it would just have 5th-round pick Shedeur Sanders next to it. But the reality of it, at least to me, feels very different from that.
Yeah, we could talk about all the things around Shedeur that could have caused him to slide to the 5th round, but all those same things are the reasons why we're talking about him right now. Like, he's not a normal 5th-round pick. He's going to get his chance. He just needs to be ready for that opportunity. I don't remember the last time we talked about a 5th-round quarterback in June. We were talking about him in May. He's a big deal, and the team is going to give him an opportunity at some point, but he needs to use this time, I think, to win over his teammates and coaches and fans, which it seems like he's doing right now. Say and do all the right things. Be ready for your opportunity because it's not going to be a long one. He still is a 5th-round pick in compensation. So if it doesn't look great early, I think they will move on from him. But let's not be silly and think that he's not going to get a chance to start at some point this season.
So, Harry, you're my offensive player in this conversation. So you've been there. You would have been one of the people on the field while all this is happening. Tell us how any of these let's put Flacco in a different category. Everyone knows who and what he is. He's an extraordinarily accomplished person. They don't need to find out what Joe Flacco is. The truth is Kenny Pickett is a completely unfinished product, or at least that would be hopeful. And then you got the 2 rookies.